Hey guys, welcome back to Set Streets and Eats. I'm Chris Bauer. This weekend I'm in the Magic City, Birmingham, Alabama. I've actually never got to visit Birmingham. I've been past it a few times on the highway. And unfortunately, I don't have as much time as I normally have. So I've had to prioritize my list of things I've always wanted to do in Birmingham. So we're gonna check out a museum I've been always wanting to check out for the last few years. And then we're also going to stop by the Civil Rights District because when you think of Birmingham, Alabama, that's one of the first things that pops to mind, and I'm a big history buff, as you know. And we're gonna get some of my favorite barbecue in Alabama, so I hope you come along with me. Let's travel. I'm Chris Bauer, and I am an art slinger. I travel around the US selling artwork at comic and anime conventions, and while I'm there, I like to check out cool sites, eat great food, and see all the places my favorite movies and TV shows are made. Welcome to Sets, Streets, and Eats. So I'm at Kelly Ingram Park, right downtown Birmingham. Birmingham, when most people hear the name of the city, right away you have a thought of civil rights movement. And the reason for that is Birmingham was a very, very pivotal piece to the early 60s rise and civil rights movement. The other reason for that was Birmingham was one of the most segregated cities in the nation. And that had a lot to do with the efforts of one man in the government named Bull Connor. He had many times on camera said he would go to his grave, keeping his city segregated, and they had ignored the public park ordinances that said that public parks and public places could be desegregated. And he ruled. He was the public safety commissioner, and he was over the police. And this park became famous for a bad event. Now, you've probably seen images from this park and never realized it, but in early May of 1963, the organizers of the Civil Rights Movement were using Birmingham as a hub because of what a triumph this city would be if they were able to desegregate it, what message it would send to the rest of the nation. So they gathered in this park, fighting them not honoring the desegregation. I forget the name of the act, but either way, this park was filled with young African American kids, and Bull Connor brought the police out with dogs and fire hoses. And those images that people have seen in high school or just growing up or just on different documentaries, many of those video clips came from this park. They sprayed these kids with fire hoses and sicked the dogs on them, and it was just a horrible event, and it backfired on Bull Connor because it showed the rest of the nation what racism, just a piece of it, really looked like. And people did not like what they saw, thank God. So that event led to less than a year later, Lyndon B. Johnson signing in the Civil Rights Act of 1964. So it was a horrible event, but a pivotal one for the civil rights movement. And that all took place in this park. And today they've got a mini memorial set up around the park here. It's a very beautiful park right off of downtown and right in the heart of the Civil Rights District, as this area of Birmingham is known. These sculptures are really, really powerful in this park. Sadly, one of the other events that added or led to the Civil Rights Act of '64 being signed in happened at the church behind me. The 16th Street Baptist Church in September 1963 was bombed, and 4 children were killed. And that was not the first bombing, nor was it the last, but that one also resonated. It came at a moment where people were listening, and that resonated with the general public and also led to that rising voice of people wanting a change. And they of course rebuilt, and they're still open today, which is a very important thing to note. Racism can definitely be stamped out and stopped, but giving in to them is like giving in to terrorists. So anyway, this church sits right on the corner, right looking at Kelly Ingram Park. So again, they call this area the Civil Rights District for a reason. This is a lot of history happened right here. It's a very powerful place to be. You can kind of feel it in the air. Yeah, that happened right behind me. We are back at Dreamland BBQ, one of our favorite places. This is the Birmingham location.
Brunswick stew.
And one of 2.
You from New York? No, I'm from New York.
Oh, okay. 2 locations. We had it at the other one last time. Now we're at this one. This is smaller than the other location.
As I recall.
Seems like the other one had a bigger dining room. This is kind of like a weird V. Yeah. Don't they call those runes?
Yeah.
He's covered in runes.
The runes are different. Runes
Oh, really?
Are the Viking version of the...
I thought runes was like the symbols they put on something, and like when you go in them, like that's a protected area. Like the runes have like surrounded. I don't know. I could be mixing up my witchcraft. I'm
that is
not exactly up on it.
Runes are...
I'll stick to ribs. I don't know anything about witchcraft, but I know some ribs.
I don't know anything about
And Dreamland
witchcraft
knows how to make
outside of
ribs.
the basic.
I'm about to devastate this plate of ribs. Or it's gonna devastate me. This could be my last meal. But I'd take it. If this is my last meal, I'll grab one of these sauces, boys.
Oh, shit. There you go.
Oh, yeah.
care, not because they know
Dreamland's
her or
ribs.
because they're a family.
Extremely messy, and I do not care.
They're roots for the team. Like you do at any
They're delicious.
sport.
And I love them.
Direct TV.
I am a mess.
Oh, it hasn't stopped raining.
Oh my God, it's so good. When I ordered, the waiter said, "That's a lot of food." And I said, I know what I'm about, man.
This is almost with my
And you know what? My food's gone, so joke's on him. Actually, no, I'm probably gonna have a coronary. Joke's on me. So once again, Dreamland did not disappoint. I'm avoiding dessert this time. I got it last time and the time before that, but I've had enough. It's that baked potato that does it. It's full of meat and cheese.
So why don't you eat half of the potato and the meat? And
Isaiah, I have a problem. It's called I need to clean my plate, and then if there's a plate near it, that is also my plate. It's called being obese. It's, you know, it's my cross to bear. '19 Harley Davidson motorcycle. Oh, I'm sure that's not worth anything. Oh man. That's an oldie. Pujo. This looks like something out of G.I. Joe. I'm pretty sure henchmen in some movie have ridden these in like a James Bond film. Oh, this too, for sure. This is part of what started me being fat. Sure did love the ice cream guy. These scooters look like so much fun. Let's face it, scooters are fun to ride. The police bikes. So my great grandfather, either one great or double great, can't remember, was the first motorcycle cop in Grand Rapids, Michigan. Would have been back late teens, early 20s, and long time ago, 100 years ago. First one with those newfangled machines. So you might be asking, where am I exactly? I am at the Barber Vintage Motorsports Museum. This is the home of the world's largest motorcycle collection, vintage motorcycles. But they also have a huge race car section, which I have more of an interest in than motorcycles, but I think all of it's really neat. Motorcycle racing and auto racing basically came right after each of them were invented in the late 1800s. Right away, as soon as we had two of either or, they wanted to race them. Probably a male tendency, given that a lot of it was really dumb, because people died every week during these races, or at least were maimed. But many people died. It wasn't just racers, it was pedestrians who had never seen anything like this, so they would come out in droves and stand right in the street, and didn't always work out good for them. Man, that's a 1906. Wow. That's crazy. 1906, we were already making something that amazing. Anyway, this museum is definitely dedicated to that, to the vintage all the way up to modern. Just amazing how far we've come with it. It's pretty neat. I've never been here before. It's just outside of Birmingham, Alabama. It also has, I believe, 2 different racetracks on the outside of it as well. Look at this, 1974 Ducati. And these bikes, as you can see, are in immaculate condition. This reminds me of Captain America. This World War II bike. That is baller. 1944 Harley Davidson motorcycle with the gun holster, cause it's rad. Anyway, I know right now both my childhood friends Ryan Wixon and especially Matt Sedlak would be in utter heaven, so hopefully you guys are watching. I'll try to show as many of these bikes as you can handle. Mule bikes, American motorcycles. Bikes designed by Eric Buell. This is like a giant Hot Wheels collection. Oh, look at that. Top of the elevator. It's just a little Formula One race car. No big deal. Better watch your step. That tiger's got a mask on. Oh, here it is, y'all. The Captain America from the movie Easy Rider. Helmet and all. Looks like this smaller scale version of the sculpture that's outside. Very cool. Vroom. Wow. 1894. A Hildebrand Wolf Miller. And what is this? I would say that's earlier. It's literally all wood and brass. This is brass and wood as well. 1867. Steam powered. Metal wheel. Wood spokes. Literal metal wheel. I'll bet that thing took a bump like you would not believe. Or at least your butt wouldn't believe it. 1905. 1909, getting more and more cooler and streamlined. There's a 1905. Now we're in the 20s. Wow. Some of the early racers and uses of the motorcycles. In 1903, 1912. 1914, all Indians. Man, these are beautiful old bikes. 1924. 1913 with sidecar. Very cool. Look at that, one of the old trophies. What makes a lot of those really old racing trophies so valuable was they would get one sometime prior to even World War I, and then most of them were definitely prior to World War II. And during both war efforts, Americans were donating metals to get melted down to make bullets and tanks and everything else. So everybody got involved. Well, so many of those trophies got melted down during those war efforts. So they are few and far between, and they're very valuable when they are found, but they're just very rare now because of that. The old wood plank racetracks in the first decade of the 20th century. Harley Davidson, 1924. Old Model T truck. Look at these old trophies. Got a few more from the 30s and late 20s and 30s. So those hill climb events. So my grandfather, Eugene Bauer, he used to race back in the 40s, right after the war. He used to race his Harley in those hill climb events. And if you've never seen a hill climb event, especially the vintage ones, it was nerves of steel, pure insanity. They would find usually dirt or tree covered cliffs that were 70, 80, 90 degree angles. And you placed when you drove all the way up it. They were not for the faint of heart, let's just say that. And my grandfather used to race those and ride his Harley around. I'll show a picture of my grandparents right after they were first married, riding around on his Harley. And just living that great post-war American dream. Ah, yes, the Moon Wheel, driven by General Grievous at the Indy 500 in 2005. He was chasing Obi-Wan Kenobi in that, pretty sure, except they had legs. So they are actually out racing cars on the track right now. Looks like Porsches. I think they might be all Porsches. We'll go out and check those out here in a minute. So many Ducatis. Hill climber. It's a Jawa. Ooh, teeny. What as hell? Well, you can step on it if you want, but I don't trust it. It's just far enough not to kill you, but to break all of your legs. That's right, I said all of them. Oh, that's cool. Ooty. OTD. Ferrari. Forget about your troubles. Forget about them. Go downtown. Things will be great when you're downtown. You'll find a way to your down. That's so low to the ground. I couldn't even get a shin in there before my leg would break. Flat tire. You can see through that car. That is a lot of fiberglass. Oh, here's some oldies. $1948, thing's built like a tank.
10 mile an hour and 100 mile an hour.
They do have quite a Matchbox car collection. Maybe even some Hot Wheels. Oh, look at that. It's like a model car. That's cool. That is awesome. That reminds me of being a kid and opening that fresh model kit. I thought that was pretty cool. You guys don't like this one. There's a lot of race cars in here. Ooh, that is big pimpin'. Sweet. Man, I dig these. Those are cool. That looks like Captain America's right there. The Captain. Yeah, isn't that cool? No kidding. Look at this bad boy. Got the machine gun nest in there. That is, whoa. This is, of course, BMW. It's the German side. Saw a few of these wrecked in Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. In fact, I think that's what they're saying with that post. Pretty sure these are, if you remember that scene in Indiana Jones, they pull up to the post where you're talking about going after the diary, and Sean Connery sitting in the side car and Indy's on the cycle. That's awesome. That's pretty cool. Oh, here we go. Looks like the racing is back underway. Let's come check it out. I know this is super thick glass, but it freaks me out to walk on it. I want to walk on it. But it's terrifying. Feels solid though. I got 1 foot on it. Even though if it breaks, I'm going right over it, so. So outside the museum they have, you take the bridge across the raceway. And out here in the center, they've got like a little park full of waterfalls and sculptures to walk through. It's actually gorgeous. I'm not sure why it exists, but I'm happy it does. It's pretty neat. I don't exactly know what they use the test track for, but I'm assuming it is a test track for different car companies or racing teams maybe. Not sure. I'm sure their website, the Barber Vintage Motorsports Museum website, probably has more information on that. So far, this place has been amazing. It was $16.50 for an adult. Holy crap. That snake freaked me out. It's a sculpture. It goes all the way up there. There's Big the Foot. Adam the Woo must be around here. Hi, Big the Foot. I didn't know you could get out of the van. Good job, buddy. Using your walking sticks. This is a beautiful little area down here. How cool is this? And it's got another bridge that you can get up there and watch the races on as well, if you are so inclined, which are pretty cool. It is a rather warm Alabama day today. You can imagine the heat. It is definitely lower 90s. A little bit of the humidity of the south. Look at this lovely little thing here in the woods. Have a seat, watch the cars go racing past. I hear them coming now, actually. They're up on the track. They're about to whip past. Man, those have to be hybrids because you can barely hear their engines. Good job, Porsche. So this pond, that like moat area, it's a koi pond. Actually you can see some pretty good sized koi swimming in it. Probably not, but, oh, there goes the car. I heard him. There's one out by that big rock there. Very stagnant pond, so I'm sure this is, oh, here we go. Ready for this? Cool. Way cool, bro. Just out for a lovely hike in the middle of a racetrack. Not too many places you can do that at, but you can here. Unexpected, all for the price of admission. Not bad at all. This place is really nice. Not just the outside. That museum is really nice. You can tell that is not a fly-by-night operation. They got some real money put into that thing. Lotus. So many lotuses. Ooh, that's cool. MGs. Pretty cars, but I cannot fit in them. Lotus. So many Lotuses. Oh, looks like a GT. Ford GT. Fronty. It's an oldie. That old Chevrolet Woody wagon. This is a Bentley owned by the Beatles. Is that Ringo Starr? Old Chevrolet. See the USA in your Chevrolet. America's the greatest land of all. Drive a Chevrolet to the USA. I'm really unsure of all the words. So apparently, to go all the way downstairs, you have to have special permission. But we can see from up here. I swear to you, my favorite thing display-wise has been these model kit displays where they take the entire race car apart and make it look like it's in a model kit. That makes me feel like a kid again, and that's awesome. Especially that Ferrari one. Look at that. So cool. Here's one of the old 80s Buick racers, the Miller High Life car. That was one of the Buick race cars from their really big run that they had in the 80s. Looks like a Shelby Cobra body on the wall there. You know, perfectly normal to just have one. That's pretty awesome. Well, this was very cool. I thoroughly enjoyed my tour of the Barber Vintage Motorsports Museum. It's really cool. They call this a water scooter. It's like one of the first jet skis. That's awesome. From the 1950s, weren't we ahead of our time? Well, if you are into motorcycles especially, but if you're into any type of racing, motor racing, or motor sports, this is a very cool museum. Collection museum. I'm not even sure. They call it a museum. Maybe it's a collection. I really don't know. But either way, they've got thousands. And a lot of stuff you just don't normally see. It's pretty awesome. Highly recommend it. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode of Set Streets and Eats. If you haven't subscribed already, please do. Leave a like down below. And I hope you enjoyed this tour of the Barber Vintage Motorsports Museum. And we'll see you on down the road. Bye now.